Kia ora and welcome to the Run Adjacent podcast, proudly supported by Trick Trail and Fish. Be sure to visit their website tricktrailfish.co.nz and use my discount code RA10. That will get you 10% off your order, and orders over $150 will get you free shipping. Today's guest is Des Imms. This is a well and truly overdue episode that we've been meaning to get on for some time now. Des is an accomplished trail runner, having participated in such events Tarawera Ultra Marathon, the Poronui Passage, the Trick Trail and Fish 50k at the Hot Prince Bay of Islands Run Walk Festival, the Parihaka Trail Run, Riverhead Relapse, the Mighty Totoro Backyard Ultra, the King's Backyard Ultra. He also has run in many of Sport Northland's running events. Des also owns our show sponsor, Trick Trail and Fish, which takes an active part in the Northland running community, supporting events such as the Parihaka Trail Run, Bay of Islands Run Walk Festival, and the Whangarei 512 Challenge. Support is also given to my running club, Hatia Run. Welcome to the podcast, Des.
Thanks, Hayden. It's a pleasure to finally be on your show, I guess.
It has been long overdue, but we get around to it. We can't go rushing these things, right?
No, we've got to make sure everything's done right. It's been busy schedules for both parts. You've been busy with the Sport Northland events.
Yep.
Obviously, we've been busy sponsoring them all to make sure they're all going ahead strong. So
yeah,
it's been a great year so far.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the Northland running community appreciates your valuable input to helping keep these events going. Tell us about yourself, man. When did your running journey begin, and what was the motivation driving you to run?
It'll be 4 years and 1 month. So it's when we started. For me, I got, if you wish, diagnosed as an alcoholic, so quite a heavy drinker. It affected my life quite a lot. So with the support of my wife, Manda, we tried a AA meeting situation. Didn't really work for me. So she suggested something we could do together was exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So replaced the alcohol with walking/running around the Whangarei Loop. And then from there it was like set a challenge. So 6 months out gave us time to get ready for Kirikiri Half.
Oh wow.
So the motivation is obviously to not go back to drinking. And at 130 kilos, I wasn't a healthy man. So
no.
It was a time for a drastic change in my life. Sort of saved my life, saved my family.
Yeah.
So from there, that's where we are now.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. When you say alcoholic, what did that kind of look like? Were you drinking like a couple of cans of beer a night, or
16 to 20 cans of bourbon a day? I'd start at 7-8 o'clock in the morning on my drive to work. I would work whilst drinking, and I would drive home again whilst drinking. If I'd run out of alcohol on the way through, I would find a liquor store on my way home, and there aren't any, so I'd have to go out of the way to pick up another box to carry on getting home.
That's were you aware that there was a problem?
No. I'd been stopped several times by the police for breath tests.
Yeah.
Never failed. They called me a functional alcoholic.
Yeah.
Which means that I could still function day-to-day life, just not remember anything. So whatever I said yesterday or a conversation I would have, I'd have no recollection of it.
Damn. Was it hard to get off the alcohol, or like was it just using running to replace one habit? I don't really know how to word it.
Everyone said it was going to be hard, especially since I decided to go cold turkey. So what alcohol was left went down the drain. and then woke up the next morning, and that was it. There was no more.
Yeah.
I guess I've always been busy, so I just busied myself more so. And running, although we weren't fast, we didn't do big mileage, we did it every day just so that I always had that there. Amanda's been super supportive on this journey right from the start.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her, I probably would never have known that I was an alcoholic, and certainly probably wouldn't have gotten through it and seen where I am now.
Yeah. That's incredible. What was I going to ask? I'm thinking.
Sorry, floored you, sorry.
Yeah. You dead fucking floored me, you bastard. So, did you see the effects that alcohol was having on your wife and family? You got 2 young kids, right?
I've got they're teenagers now. So back then they were definitely young. They were coming into teenagehood. Or one of them was. So probably when he needed his dad the most through that transition. I think the timing where everything was sort of pulled up gave me a chance to get it really quickly, to be back involved with my family. During the drinking process, I didn't realise I had the problem, so therefore I didn't see how it was affecting them.
Yeah.
Probably within about 2 or 3 months of being sober is when things sort of started hitting reality. My memory was starting to come back. I could see how much my family was trying to support me.
Yeah.
Therefore, they wanted me around, so it made it a lot easier to try and correct the wrongs. I mean, you can't go back and change the past, but I can certainly improve the future for them.
Yeah.
Which is what I've really been focusing on.
That's awesome. That's an awesome mindset to have. You were quite fat as well.
Yeah, 130 kilos. So yeah, at 5'6" and 130 kilos, quite fat. There are a lot of comments I get today where people go like, "Oh, weren't you the fat guy that had this place?" It's like, yep, that was me. I haven't changed my diet other than no alcohol.
Yeah.
I still eat bad.
Yeah.
But I enjoy food.
Yeah, I love food too. Yeah.
So it's just really the running, the dropping the alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'm down to a healthier 78 kilos now. So it makes running a whole lot easier too.
Nice.
I recall my first trip around the Hartier Loop. I was stoked with. It took me 57 minutes to do 4.4 Ks, and I was over the moon.
Yeah.
Now, if I do that in over 25 minutes, I kick myself for going too slow. So
yeah. But hey, that 57 minutes, that's a start, right?
It was
that's sometimes all you need is
walk 2 lampposts, run 1, die. Walk 2 lampposts, run 1, die.
Well, that's pretty much how I started running down on the loop. Was just run a K, walk a K, run a K, walk a K, and
that gave time for Amanda and I to talk, and sort of she was able to remind me of, well, not so much remind me, but educate me on where I was and what we needed from me as a family to keep progressing forward to make things work.
That's cool.
So it became our date runs. So getting back into the relationship again.
Yeah. Did being a functioning alcoholic have any financial implications on you, and have you noticed a difference?
I would have to say it did, although I've never really been focused on the financial side of things, unfortunately. So it's most likely had a huge impact. I could almost probably say the money from that started this, maybe.
Okay.
So, and if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't have been the motivation to start TTF, and there probably wouldn't have been the money to start it. So
nice.
So potentially.
Yeah, cool. Liquor companies must hate you now then, eh? They're like, oh, Des isn't funding us now.
Yeah, I'm no longer the Homer Simpson that I used to be.
All right, okay. So what was the hardest part about running for you when you first started then? We probably touched on it already, but
running.
Yep.
I don't know, because we were new, we didn't know about clubs, we didn't really know what we were doing, so the hardest part was trying to remember how to run. So because of the motivation to not drink, I had the consistency and the motivation to go out and move. The hardest part was running, and for Kiri Kiri was our first goal. Amanda found a online plan through the Nike Run Club. So trying to reach those targets, having not run like that since I was a teenager, just almost felt impossible.
So did you had others to train with, obviously, though? You had Amanda coaching you along the way?
Oh, we were coaching each other. I mean, Amanda wasn't a runner prior either.
Okay.
Amanda's level of sport through her life has always been very minimal. Running is a brand new sport to her. So with running with her was our motivation. So she was motivating me to run by me motivating her to run.
Yeah.
A lot of YouTube. We try to get our kids into it. Maybe that's a bad thing to do. Kids, they'll grow into it when they're ready, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the first, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years, it was pretty much just her and I.
Nice. I didn't really think the cross-training question's relevant now.
Okay.
It's taken a wild turn, this interview. Jeez.
Sorry, bud.
That's all right. No, it's fine. It's all good.
I'll go back to selling shoes.
So you took up running, what was it, 4 years ago now?
4 years ago, yeah.
What has been your most satisfying run to date?
The training. The events have been the motivator to train, but to be fair, the training's been the most satisfying. Especially in this last year where I've really sort of upped what I was doing. The journey to the destination has been a lot more enjoyable.
What do you like about the training?
There doesn't feel like there's any pressure. So with the training, you're just out there to run a 20k, a 40k. So it just feels easy. And then come on race day, you've sort of put pressure on yourself on event day, and then you get disappointed, and it just feels harder in that sense.
Yeah. Is that, I call it race day nerves? Is it?
Well, I always sleep well the night before.
Yeah, okay.
In the event, I'll get my solid 7 hours sleep.
Yeah.
I'll feel good. I'll get up in the morning. But I put the pressure. I'm one of those silly guys that puts a goal in place for the event.
Yeah.
And I haven't yet got my head around not doing that.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, out of the events we've done, I mean, the GOAT was a fantastic place to go and run. Although I fell over 3 times, almost cracked my skull open. Amanda would run up ahead and not make fun of me, but support me as she was taking photos and chilling out on a rock.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Waitomo Caves is a beautiful place to go run through caves that didn't even know were there.
Yeah.
Poronui Passage, running through that farmland, which is very limited people that can do that. They just, all of them have really got their own place, except the Wild Kiwi. I'm not doing that one again.
No, yeah, I can understand that. Having done the Wild Kiwi this year, I was like, oh, yep, one and done, I think.
We did that the week after doing the GOAT, so we were already broken from doing that. Thought we'd come back and do the Wild Kiwi for a bit of chill down. It took longer than the GOAT.
So you met good people training though for your events?
Sorry, what was that?
You've met some good people whilst training for your events though?
Oh, definitely. Probably, was it 2 years ago, I had reconstructive surgery on my shoulder and a bicep shortening.
How did that happen?
I fell over. I'm old. You get bad positions at bad times. So the rehab from that, I sort of started taking the Tarawera training that that Amanda had signed us up for a little bit more seriously in my rehab. And that's sort of where I got involved with the Hatia Run Club as a social member. And that was just a phenomenal way to sort of get motivated, learn some new areas, some new ways to train. That's where I met you. And it's nice being able to run with guys that I would have at one point put out of my range to sort of run with, who now I can run with, and I feel really good about that. And even if I'm not as fast as them, they are happy to slow down to run with them. So it's really nice running with the club.
Nice. Do you have any kind of dream race?
Probably not a dream race. I mean, I'd like to do some of the American stuff. I like adventure sort of stuff. So one of the big challenges that keeps popping into my YouTube feed is the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim.
Okay, tell me more.
So you literally start on one side of the Grand Canyon, run down it, up the other side into the snow, turn around, and come back again.
Is it a multi-day event?
No. It's
Okay.
Out and back, 24-hour, 18-hour type thing. I can't remember what the distance of that one is. I've got a self-challenge that one day I'd like to run the length of New Zealand for a charity, and just because I think I can. I don't think it's going to be quick. Certainly not like the guy that's just finished it.
No.
But it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have any... If there was one event that you could put on in Northland, what would that be?
Oh, we just did it.
Elaborate. Come on.
The getting into the ultras, I mean, they're not for everybody. I get that. But they are a lot of fun if you don't take them too seriously. If you just want to go out, reach a new milestone, see some nice parts of the country. Whangarei, or Northland, in my opinion, has missed anything longer than a half marathon anyway. So a 33k, a 42k, a 52k. It's nice to sort of see those events come into Northland.
Yeah.
Whether or not there's place or room for more of them, it would certainly be nice to see a few more of, in my opinion, that longer sort of stuff coming in, even up to marathon distances.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see almost like a 50, maybe 100k event that runs down the Te Araroa Trail along the coast of Northland. That would be cool, I reckon.
Have looked at those sort of options. Had a chat with everyone's friend Chris and Helen from His and Hers about it the other day. They're quite happy to do some recce's. They've done a bit of research on what's required to run something the length following the TA Trail. State Highway 1 seems to be a problem with traffic control.
Yeah. Trust me, it is.
There's a few other options that could run up the coastline from Kaiwi Lakes, up along the beach, through the forest tracks, more likely up to, is it Hauhora? Further up the line, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a 66k journey.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
And it's a matter of finding the time to go for a recce, or giving enough people the ideas who are in the right places, hint, to go for their recce's.
Yep. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Sorry.
Tara, I hope you're listening. So let's take a step back a little bit. What inspired a man with a couple of tyre shops to open Trek Trail and Fish? How long has Trek Trail and Fish been open for, by the way?
We opened Trek Trail and Fish tentatively towards the end of the first bout of COVID, the first lockdown period.
2020?
2020 into 2020, 21. Didn't really get it up and running properly until probably the last 2 years. So 22 was when we sort of finally got suppliers on board and saw our dream as well. The passion was to give back to the community. So when we started, especially signing up for events that required compulsory gear, stores in Whangarei didn't know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So we needed a lightweight seam seal jacket. We ended up with almost a bushman's seam seal jacket. Gaiters for your shoes for an event. Oh, what do you need those for? No one really knew.
Yeah.
You wanted to buy a hydration pack, you had to buy it online, get the sizing wrong, and it's a lot of hassle sending stuff back. So, the purpose was to sort of give back to a community that had helped us move forward by at least offering them stuff in town where they could experience that.
Yeah.
And being runners, it made sense to pass our knowledge back on. And we're learning every day from the community as well, which means we can share it back to those coming in new to the sport and experienced.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Was it hard to get suppliers on board with the whole idea of Trick Trail and Fish? And
it was certainly hard getting the bigger brands on board. We had to start somewhere, so with no-name brands, trying to convince or sell the idea to the bigger brands that there was room in the market for a store specialised like this in the area was hard. It's a very competitive world, we've learnt that. Very seasonal as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've done the fishing side of the business, or dabbled in the fishing side for about 10 years.
Okay.
Sold bait and a couple of freezers and a little bit of tackle.
Yeah.
So natural growth was to follow our new hobby and see if we could give it back and help people get the right stuff rather than buying what the salesman's going to get the biggest commission on.
Yeah, yeah. What was the first brand that came on board?
For our footwear, it was Salomon, so it's still a relatively big brand.
Yep.
They didn't feel they had a market up here anyway, so they were happy to give us a crack.
Yeah.
Then it was a real no-name brand being 361, which is kind of an Asics knockoff sort of thing. Fortunately, that's not coming into the country anymore. It was a really good quality shoe, but with no marketing behind it, it had no push.
Yeah.
2XU for our clothing, they were really quick to jump on board. Again, it's a brand that people know, but you can't buy their apparel in Whangarei.
Yeah.
So that gave us a good step in.
Yeah. So was that kind of like your pitch to them was, look, your brand doesn't have much exposure up here. This is your way in, or
no? We had to literally pitch what we did. So it's like we are a running store. We are specialised in it. Technical gear for this sport's really hard to come by.
Yeah.
Like we've got a few other brands that we've tried and dabbled. I've got very sensitive nipples, so chafing's never pleasant. So finding the right gear that doesn't cause problems. So everything in stores being tried by either myself or Amanda.
Yep.
So we know it works, and people can get the best experience out of what they're putting on.
Nice. And you've got quite a few brands on board now. There's Ultras, Hoka One, Saucony.
Yeah, Ultra has probably been my favourite, to be fair. It's a personal shoe for me now. After my operation, so I had 3 months before I was allowed to run, so I'd forgotten how to. Oh, well, not quite. I barely knew anyway. So I had a lot of time to learn about the different shoes and the zero drop format, the barefoot format. Started making a lot of sense into a natural movement. So it turned me from a 3-hour half marathoner, like I said, I've never been quick, down to a 2-hour half marathoner by learning how to change my gait, my run form, and I put a lot of that down to the shoe forcing me to have to change to prevent injury.
Yeah.
I used to suffer near the beginning, obviously being overweight, shin splints, plantar, arch aches. Now I've been in the zero drop shoe for 18 months, almost 2 years, and I don't seem to get injured anymore.
Nice.
Tight calves maybe, but that's a massage out and I'm back away again.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy about coming here and just having a chat about shoes and all that kind of stuff is that you impart a lot of knowledge onto your customers, and just help us get just those 1 or 2%, that which make all the difference. So I certainly appreciate this shop being here. Is it hard competing against online stores?
Being new to the online world, we've only been online since Christmas. That's been a whole new world. I'm lucky enough that Manda handles most of that side of things, in fact, all of that side of things. But yeah, it's a lot more competitive online. Although there's a bigger market, it's hard to tap into that.
Yeah.
Especially getting towards the end of seasons, where wholesalers start doing their clearance outs as well.
Yeah.
So you don't... Yeah, there's a lot of loss during that time of year.
Yeah.
So it's certainly hard to battle with that one. Again, being kind of unique by being specialised, very niche market that we have, it does give us an opening. But it's a hard one for people to find as well.
Yeah. It is kind of disappointing when I get like the emails from certain shoe brands that they're clearing out on their stuff, and then make a call to you, and then it's like, oh, I can't really match that because we have to buy our stock like 6 months in advance, and obviously the price back 6 months ago was different to the price now, and that must just make you pull your head out, right?
That doesn't help. And
Yeah.
the difference between us and a lot of the online stores as well is because we have a brick and mortar store, so people can come to us. We've got that additional overhead of rent.
Yeah.
Where a lot of online stores operate out of a giant warehouse, they team up with other brands, so there's 2 or 3 people sharing that cost.
Yeah.
Which does make a little bit more of a difference. But I've always liked the personal touch, so the brick and mortar for us will always stay.
Yeah.
I think the best way to get people running in general is to be able to talk to them about what they do, what they need, and invite them to things like park run, hardcore social runs, and some of their speed hill climbs and night series and stuff to get people knowing each other.
Yeah, that's that is another little string to your bow, isn't it? On a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock, you do a hill repeat session from the store, which has been going for 7 weeks now.
Oh, so our first 6 weeks were hill repeats.
Yeah.
Then we took a week off, and people turned up to the week off for my easy 10K run. So it was really nice. We had 13 people show up on the week we weren't doing it.
Yeah.
Our 6-week block started this last Tuesday, which are a speed recession. So we're not doing hills now. We're keeping it to the flat.
Oh, nice.
So we're trying to get people to not racing for or not training for any events. It's just people that want to improve. And it's designed to keep everybody running together. So now we've got people that are running 30-minute 5Ks, running beside those that are running 16-minute 5Ks. So they're all training together. So we're able to learn from the elites in our area, while involving those that always feel they're too slow to run with a group. Are getting that feeling that running with a group is actually not that terrifying.
No.
So it's been a great way to sort of expand the knowledge of what we do, to share the knowledge from some of our great runners. I mean, Dwayne Collicart and Mel Waddell, a couple of your co-hosts.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Have been a phenomenal help. They gave me a big kick up the butt 7 weeks ago and said, hey, are you doing this or not? And here we are.
Yeah. Nice. That is an awesome benefit to having a bricks and mortar store, is that you actually get to come in and talk to someone about running and your goals. You can't ask an internet shop that, but also you get some, if you're around on a Tuesday evening, come and do some speed sessions. It's I've been to a couple of them. Unfortunately, my son does hockey training on a Tuesday night, so I can't get to all of them. But they're really neat, and there's a really good bunch. On the few nights that I have been, there's been more than 20 people show up to these things. So all shapes and sizes, all varying abilities, but it's cool to have that little community feel. on this side of the whangarei. So yeah, no, it's cool. If you had an ideal goal for TTF, what would you like to see it become?
That's a hard one. I enjoy TTF for as it is. It's almost just a bit more than a social hub. We want to stay very much community focused. If we can expand to a point where we're able to involve more communities and expand, that would be great. But it's baby steps. It's enjoying helping people run better, feel better. It's almost based on the Sport Northland process of just getting people to move. We want people to move with freedom and without injury. So TTF's goal is very basic. Just keep supporting the community and our own hobby.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it in the intro. You're supporting a few of the Sport Northland events. You're supporting my running club. We're greatly appreciative of your help, and you're also supporting the His and Hers crew with their stuff. So I think you're doing the right things, and it must cost you a fortune. But I'm sure the Northland running community is forever grateful to you. So cheers, Des.
No worries. It's all part of what we're all here for. And Chris and Helen, Sport Northland, yourself personally, we're all helping the community up here, and it's come a long way, I feel, in the last 18 months compared to where it was 4 years ago with people getting involved with the running community. Yeah,
that's cool. Was there anything else, Des? Look, I'm going to say, so I started this podcast with little to no support. It was just an idea, and I released that first episode that I recorded with Steve Trass. We recorded it in the hotel lobby of a hotel down in Rotorua. And right from that first episode getting released, you were like, what can I do to help? And I was like, $40 a month is my hosting fees. If you cover that, I'll be forever grateful. And we may have only had 70 odd downloads on that first episode. And now our average downloads are sitting at around 170. So as we've grown, I'm hoping that it's reflected in more sales for you, but I don't know. But whatever is going on, I appreciate your support. So
we have had a few online sales using the RA10 discount from the South Island.
Oh, nice.
So your podcast is certainly hitting around the country. And again, it's how can we support the community? What you're doing, we feel, is brilliant for the Northland running community. And there aren't too many true running podcasts, in our opinion, around New Zealand. It's a lot of big international ones, but they're not relevant to how we run here.
Yeah. I would love to see running podcasts specific to the Auckland region. I'd love to hear a running podcast specific to the Waikato. I'd love for this kind of podcast to grow, but it's only me. But at the moment, but hopefully I've laid the foundation for anyone that maybe would like to start their own podcast. By all means, reach out. It's all good.
And always just pick up more of the fancier runners from around the country, or the local runners. It's not about finding the fanciest. I wouldn't mind learning about some of the run areas around the Kurihanga Gorge, since that's where our Kurihanga Gorge. Sorry, get that right. That's where our next event is that Amanda's signed us up for 2 days ago. So if anyone knows how to run through there, was it the Waihi Trail Challenge or Trail Challenge Waihi? Now I've said it wrong.
The exterior race?
It's a total sport race.
Oh, okay. It's Waihi. Yeah,
Waihi.
Cool.
42 Ks, so 1,500 meters of vert. So anybody help?
Cool. Anyway, thank you, Des. I appreciate your support pretty much from day one. We certainly probably wouldn't have been still on air if it wasn't for your financial input. So we appreciate it. Thank you for your time today. It was a long overdue episode. We've probably been meaning to do it for 6 months, but
I've never really been a big fan of talking too much in this sort of situation. It's certainly easier one-on-one when trying to also be a salesman at the same time.
Yeah.
Talking about oneself is always difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But we all have different journeys. We've all had struggles as to why we started running.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so thank you for sharing. It must be hard to talk about alcohol and that kind of stuff, but I'm sure people would have gained a lot of insight into you and appreciate you better as a person nowadays because of it. So
it was certainly harder earlier. These days I take it as a badge of honour that I can talk and explain to people what was going on.
Yeah.
And you go from a 48-minute park run to a 22-minute park run. It shows that there's benefits in focusing on a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Thank you again, Des. Don't forget, tricktrailfish.co.nz. Use my discount code RA10. Free shipping on orders over $150. If you're new to the Run Adjacent podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe on the platform you're listening to. If possible, please give a rating or review. And are you ready for this bit? You are ready for this bit. Okay. Till next time, happy running.